He be in here. Eddie not the one that's not allowed in here.
Cause she don't listen.
She don't listen.
Nah, because niggas' lives don't exist outside of my like store. It's like a GTA game.
Oh, okay.
Like when they're
So we
loading,
go
you
what,
go to a
nigga, so
different
when you
area, you
leave-
start loading up the map.
He in
We just going to suspend animation. We play it.
He in his own lobby. That's what he's saying.
That's how I really think about how life. True members.
Then they come back and we're like, yeah, so you know, we, like, come on. Nah, nigga just stuck in animation, just like at the.
It's stop until you come back.
Right.
Nah, really, that movie really fucked my head up in life because I really be thinking like that a lot.
There might be some truth to it.
It's not the shrooms.
Nah, not the shrooms.
Okay.
It's not enough of the shrooms. I mean, I eat creminis and like oyster mushrooms and shit like
I was
that.
talking about the other ones, champ.
Yeah, nah, not those.
Nah.
Not the Mario mushrooms.
Like you're not familiar.
Hey, nigga said, nah, I got look at his
Like
pen.
I was like,
Look at that nigga pen.
Nah.
No, I'm talking about this dude. He's talking about creminis and.
Oh,
I'm
he's
like,
talking to
bro,
me. My bad. I thought he was talking about like he was experienced.
I got my
I
connect
just
from
said-
you.
I just
Like,
said-
Oh, you damn.
just don't lie to me.
You know what's crazy?
Nigga.
With the weather feeling the way it was on the way over here, I was like, damn, it's about damn near time to go cop some shrooms.
Okay.
And I ain't did them in a while,
Gonna
but I
make
do
pasta?
them like not the Mario mushrooms.
Okay.
The the weather and the time and being outside, like that's when I kind of feel like
3 hours after tripping, they called me in the kitchen carving chickens with excellent precision.
Preach.
Action Bronson, man. That's my guy.
That's what's up. Yo, you tuned into the Notion Podcast. I'm your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
Farmer Poe.
I made it, guys.
Yeah.
He's back.
How y'all doing, fellas?
Welcome.
I don't know. It depends.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I'm blessed. God is good. No complaints, man.
And all the time.
It depends on the weather.
No, it's just like,
Right
you know,
now,
like,
for me, it depends on the weather because it's been up and down too much to where it's like.
Bro, I feel for you then because the
Hey, I'm
weather
about to
out
say-
here is so bipolar.
bro, you're bipolar. Like, he's like, it depends on the weather. One day he's happy, he's sad,
Nah, the weather does affect my mood.
but it's different though, because when it's raining, he be mad. I mean, when it's raining, he be mad. When the sun's out,
He be
No,
talking again.
I like the rain. I don't like over cloud, gloomy.
You don't
overcast.
you like overcast?
So he don't like the part that leads up to the rain, but he likes the rain.
Yeah, I like the rain. Like,
Who does that?
Overcast is
Rain
the
is
best time
nice.
to shoot like photography too.
yeah, it is because you got the best lighting and everything.
You hate the
filtering.
best. You hate the best part of the movie.
I didn't know where that was going. He's like,
Yeah, but
overcast is the best time to shoot people. I was like, I didn't know what he was trying to say. I was like, you got the glasses on.
I knew where he was going with it.
My
so
guy
that's
on
why
top
I
of a building talking about
Yeah, perfect.
perfect precision.
Nah, yeah. They'll never catch me.
Tweak the scope.
Yeah. Nah, but I like the rain. I like the sun being out. I don't like the heat.
I'm the same way. I'm not too fond of the heat. I like the winter
I
too.
like the sun, man. I don't care about the heat, man. Let's get outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
I'm
the
ready
same
for
breath?
that. I'm ready for that.
On the same breath, I'll be outside in the rain too. I don't
Yeah.
really care. I'm not affected by the weather too much. Like it was really.
Going outside for me sometimes is in the evening and night, and I don't like being out when it's cold.
You don't like being out when it's cold?
No, I don't want to
I
be
I
out
can
when it's cold.
I can understand that too, cause like I'm not too fond of the cold weather, so it's like
Sure. Yeah.
I get it.
I love the cold
We
weather,
are
man.
tropical people.
Yes, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
true. Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, that's
But some of that weather, some of that heat don't be tropical at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Not be a little too like Afrocentric.
Yeah.
But you asked that question, I was like, it depends. Cause like personal life's great, it's great. Business wise, like, kind of detached, bro.
Screw them.
How are you doing though?
I'm tired,
Yeah.
but I'm good and I'm
Yeah.
focused.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I see where it's at.
Yeah.
The focus is
Yeah.
causing the fatigue.
Yeah. Well, no. I wouldn't,
feeling good.
I wouldn't say the focus is causing the
Life is
fatigue. I would
causing
say that the life is causing the fatigue, and the fatigue is pushing me to focus. So I'm not so fatigued. I need to like facilitate things better and cut the fat in certain areas.
Optimize.
And
I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. So
yeah.
But sometimes to me, to having more things to focus on causes more fatigue.
Yeah,
It
that's
depends
why.
on what-
Yeah, you're right. That's why I said like cut the fat. Like, okay,
depends on what
what's
you're
not
focused
a
on.
priority? What's not? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it depends on what you're focused on.
True.
Because I'm focused on some things right now, right? But those things are actually growing me, developing me. So there's a certain
Energy.
I would say like an excitement. Because I like to learn things that are actually beneficial. And I feel like that's what's going on right now. So with that being the focus, it's not so much draining as it is empowering.
So
you see what I'm saying?
I would say it depends on what the focus is.
That's what I said.
For sure.
So because if I focus on BS is going to drain you because at the end of the day, that BS isn't really growing you, pouring into you, or developing you, right?
It's not as exciting to
Just
think
take
about.
Nah. I wouldn't say that. Some BS is exciting. It's just not. It's just there's no substance.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, when you starting a new venture, you writing a new verse, or you got an inspiration for a new song, sometimes, or reading a book. Like
how you
it
did
used
that.
to be like a book that I would read, and I'd be like, damn, I'm tired and I should go to sleep. And I want to keep reading this book, but I want to read some more tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's March, right? Third month. I'm on my third book.
Okay.
And I ain't read a book in so long, bro.
Stupid.
I didn't say I can't read a book. I still know how to read.
Today, Junior.
I know how to read. I'm very. I can read very well. It's just that I haven't had what I felt like was the same amount of time to read a book because now I have more distractions. So I used to like to read when I used to be a kid, getting on the Muni, riding the BART, riding the light rail, getting on RT, just having time to where I didn't have a car, to where I had to ride and I could just have time to myself to read a book. Now when I'm at like home and things like that, I don't really like read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because when you're at home, you deal with them kids, they turn you into the Bubba Yaga.
Got all kind of different, and not saying that it's not possible. It's just that I just don't like have the.
People say I don't feel like it. Now go ahead and be honest.
I don't. No, I don't feel like it. I would go.
Yo, I like how you helped him with his curse. Yeah. I don't feel like it. I don't want to.
That's right.
I don't want to.
Say it with
It's not
your
that I
chest.
can't. It's just that I don't have the mental capacity to be like.
I don't want to be smart. Say it with your chest.
It's exhausting.
I have degrees. They weren't paid for.
I hate that deodorant.
I ain't paid them back yet.
I don't like degree. I don't like that deodorant.
Degree?
Yeah, you said you had 2 of them.
No, I didn't have. That's cute. Earth tones.
Yeah, there you go.
Get your shit right.
Go to the website. It's gonna be sold out.
No, it ain't gonna be sold
ain't
out.
got a
You ain't gonna
website.
even find a website.
That's
You
crazy.
gonna get on there and be like,
Yo.
"Damn, we're happy." Under construction.
This is crazy.
No, tap in with me and you'll get it. I got
At some point.
Yeah.
I got some on deck at the house.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, every month I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, up the production.
All right.
That's my another goal for the year.
Speaking of production, what should the black delegation do about Mr. Kanye West and his antics? Are we done with this, brother, or what?
Why should we have to do anything?
Huh?
Why should we have to
You
do
say
anything?
Ye?
we don't have to
I don't
do
even pay
anything.
attention.
Yeah, let him do what he gonna do.
I don't even pay attention to any of the things that he does anymore because it's I don't really care no more.
I
didn't care, but
I don't
cared
think
a
we
lot
go
sometimes.
looking for it. I think it just comes across. It could come across the wire. It could come across the desk where it's like, what?
It's
For
too
me-
much of a pattern of behavior now for me to see. It looks more intentional than it did before. Like when it was like the whole Harriet Tubman, slavery is a choice thing.
Yeah.
That was more. It seemed like it was very outlandish, but it seemed more like he was more passionate and like it was just spur of the moment. Now that we see that there's a pattern to the way in which he's doing things, it's like, oh yeah, I don't even care. I stopped listening to Kanye West after College Dropout. I'm gonna just be honest. So I don't really care.
I mean, yeah, he's more known for the outlandish behavior than what he was originally known for. I don't know, because it's been this talk about like having a disorder and stuff like that. And for me, I just look at it like, what disorder?
Yeah, because we know people with disorders, man.
Yeah.
We ain't new to we've been on Earth for however long we've been on Earth. We've interacted with many different types of people and have different friends.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like some extraordinary type of person.
Yeah.
The things that he does is like we know those type of people. You know what I'm
We
saying?
do. And I think for me, man, because I'm not gonna lie, like I had my thoughts about certain things he said in the past, but it didn't push me to the point where I was like, man, I'm cool, I'm deleting. And like when I seen the last stuff, I was like, man, I'm deleting the whole catalog. There's none of this stuff that has anything to do with this dude is gonna be in my music library because
I did.
Yeah.
I felt the way about that Harriet Tubman comment.
And I understand that. And see, I
me, re-downloaded some shit. I doubled back.
You know what? Not this song.
I had to double back like, oh, damn.
He actually did. You know, he tripping, but he went off on this.
He's not even the only one on this song, so I'm going to keep this right here.
I doubled back. Him and R. Kelly, I doubled back on some shit. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
You keep bringing him up. You need to stop.
R. Kelly?
But you know what?
I brought him up before?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, damn.
It was some eons ago, but it's documented. Okay. But
free art.
Man, I was just trying to get through the episode.
He's done. It's a wrap. It's no more for him. Okay.
Yo, I think
this guy's wild.
I do understand. Like people having their different reasons for disassociating themselves, you know, for whatever they believe. But I think I drew the line with the kids thing, bro. And I'm talking about with Ye.
Yeah.
Could you focus?
No, I'm just saying because it's
yo,
not because it was kids involved. All right.
But yeah,
kids was involved.
What I'm talking about with Ye is him specifically speaking on like Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids, and I'm gonna be transparent. I'm gonna be transparent right now. Prior to having kids, I'd be like, bro, tripping. Being a parent, I'm like, nah, bro, so much more should be happening to you right now. You know what I'm saying? And being a parent and crying about how you're being treated as a parent, I would think that you would be very careful about certain words that you're choosing to use and towards whom you use them with. You know what I mean? In that context.
It's one thing to like comment on kids. It's one thing to comment on kids of people you don't know.
Yeah.
It's another layer to comment in such a light about kids with whom the parent you have
you've had a past relationship with. Yeah.
Business, personal.
And for me, it's like, let's just, like all of the things that bruh's tweeting about, because it sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? When he tweets and says things. Let's just say all of it is true. That doesn't negate or justify the behavior. So that's why when I did pose the question of like, what should we do? Meaning not us three, you know what I mean? But we've talked about in the past how we handle things in our community and what we want to be outraged about, that the choice of outrage and stuff like that. Now, I don't think Kanye's ever a reason to have enough energy to be outraged, but I do look at certain people where it's like, nah, because if it was somebody else outside the community doing it, we would have went hard. We went hard, and everybody had something to say.
Giving him grace because he's Kanye West.
I think too many people. I think too many people. I'm not saying people are, and there's more giving him grace than not. I think there's just too many people giving him grace. And
because he has some quote unquote condition that he's self-diagnosed, and that I mean, of course, according to him, he's had professional medical attention to whatever condition he may have. Right. But the fact that the people are giving him grace because we're in a world that is oversensitized and they have...
Exactly.
There's the mental health. Exactly. Everyone is self-diagnosing their own mental health.
Yep.
To where they're not taking accountability for the things that they know that they have control over.
Thank you. Because when mental health wasn't a big deal, nobody was diagnosing themselves and saying that they had all of these things. Because at that point, you would have got laughed at or you would have got judged or whatever the case it is. So now people are hijacking mental health and disabilities, you know what I'm saying, to justify bad behavior. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
because he called them the R word, bro.
Is he all there? Nope.
Oh.
He's not. Now, that could be due to what he's experienced in Hollywood. It could be due to the loss of his mom and his support system.
Yeah,
it could be due to a lot of things. You can't say that because you still have yours.
Now, what I'm going to say is, nah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know how that affected him if that was the only person in his corner. You feel me? And so
that man lost his father.
He did.
And
but we don't know the relationship between him and his mom versus him and his father. And we can't compare and we can't say how it affected him. So with that being said, because that's his mother, that's the person that gave him life. So we don't know how that affected him mentally to where maybe he just crashes out because he don't care now. Now, with that being said, he trolls a whole lot. And the thing about it is people eat this stuff up. Why does he even have a platform if he's not rapping? Isn't he a rapper? Yep. Isn't he a producer? So if he's not rapping or producing a beat, why is anybody paying any attention to him or giving him a platform or holding any weight to anything he has to say if it's not laid over a track? Because that's my issue. Like people, they give more attention to these celebrities outside of what they're known for. I'm not looking for Kanye West to give me political advice, health advice, mental advice. Give me a 16 or shut up.
So this is what I mean by that.
Right?
So in response to what you're saying, 2 points where I think that people started looking to Kanye West for that type of behavior is, one, the George Bush comment on MTV and him interrupting and taking the mic from Taylor Swift. So I think those are the 2 points where people started looking to him for expecting that from him, because he was always behind closed doors. That was the way he behaved anyway, right? So this person has this way of behaving before his mom passed away. To me, I get it. I can know how I would behave when my mom passed away. I know how I think I probably would be. But I lost a parent. He lost a parent. I even checked my own family because, some people like my brother and his sister, their mom passed when he was young, and so some of his behavior I wouldn't say that's how I would behave, how I would act, but I think people will choose to use that as a scapegoat. And it's not to say that everybody kind of experiences or processes things the same way when a parent or someone close to you passes away. But I think people are making that excuse for him more than he's making an excuse for himself. I haven't heard Kanye say as much, this is why I'm doing this because my mom passed away.
You haven't heard an explanation from him at all.
Yeah.
And from what people are saying, this is who Kanye was before his mom passed away. It might have increased the way in which he behaves, like the level of it, but I think the fans are making that more of an excuse because they're projecting that on him and saying his mom passed away and that's why he's doing this and that's why he has a mental breakdown. And it's like people around the world lose parents all the time.
It affects everybody.
And it does. It does. But I just think that the fans are giving that more of an excuse.
I'm not even making an excuse.
I think
I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying I think people are making that more of a.
I do believe that people grieve differently, but I'll never believe that because of the way somebody grieves that, like, for example, if I'm grieving right now, right? And we get into a conversation, and that conversation turned into a heated discussion. There's a fair assessment to be like, man, I think he got heated and he got upset because he's already grieving prior to conversation.
Right.
But if I go steal Jelani's Jordan 1s he got on right now, for no reason, I'm just over there kicking it. We watching the game. He go upstairs. I take the shoes, throw them in the trunk, and then leave later. Can't justify, he was grieving. And I think...
No, he was thieving.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The evening.
Yeah, it's the wrong even. It's the wrong even. You feel me? And so, yeah, we have seen a lot of things. And there was a point in time earlier in his career when he did seem like he was one of those people to sacrifice his platform for saying the right thing or for shining the light to the right thing. But I think he took it literally when he started calling himself a god and things like that. I mean, the whole Yeezus thing, the Hova thing, that a lot of bravado is in hip hop. But when you start speaking on people's kids, You know what I'm saying?
That's
He said the
Yeah.
R word when he was referring to them. It was like crazy.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying, bro. And that's why I was just like, but like I said, the posing that question is because we sit on our platform and we talk about the things that we need to do, which I think are a whole lot more valuable and important in this day and time, as far as in what's going on politically and what's going on in the country and where we're at, in statistics. Where I just was like, you know what, let's use this as an example of somebody that, in our community that has been enabled for a long time. Not by everybody, not by us specifically, but when I look at people, I look at people in our community with a different lens now.
So when you just said that made me think of something. Like, I think at a point in time, as somebody who's a creative, somebody who wants to have a certain level of success, somebody who is consistently feeling like there's doors not being open for them or whatever opportunities that they feel that they're justified in having. Does there come a point in time when you, where's the accountability on that person's part where society is holding them accountable?
Society's not holding themselves accountable, bro.
So like he had a lot of doors closed or not open or opportunities that he felt he was justified in having, and he fought for them. Like, but when do you have, like, I think that's what it gives me an assessment of the character of that person. This is just who he is, how he behaves, and how he acts. Because yeah, you may fight for certain things and you feel like you're justified, or maybe you're being prevented from getting to a certain level.
Right.
But then when you reach a level where you feel like you say you're God, right? Your view of who you are and your level of success, whether you still have other things to attain or not.
Right.
When do you sit back and be like, damn, look at all this shit, that the way in which I talk to y'all and tell y'all about who I am in opposition to y'all. Like, when do I have an assessment of like, damn, I reached this level? How many doors was open and how many doors was closed for me in comparison to everybody else?
Well, I'll say this.
For you to feel that way, like you just not getting shit.
At the age that I'm at now, I don't know about y'all. When I watch celebrities complain, I laugh. When they complain about opportunities and they complain about the industry, I laugh now because it's 2025. It ain't 1995. It ain't 1985 when contracts were jacked up, when people was just signing stuff that they're not reading. You have artificial intelligence. You have a lot of resources that can help you navigate through pretty much any industry. So even when people reflect back on their experiences as a professional, this is the profession you chose. Because if you pick one of us three, right, and you look at what they're complaining about, it's like, yo, you're on base. You're on second base complaining about how hard it is to get home, and we're still at bat. And we had 2 strikes in 3 balls. So it's like... And
you complaining to us. Now, it's a different thing if you complaining to the people that's on the bases ahead of you.
Exactly.
You complaining to the people that's behind you.
Complaining to the people that's behind you that may not even get on deck to bat, right? And so, again, that's why I look at this stuff and I look at these individuals and I look at their plight that they choose to put on stage. And I understand that everybody goes through things and we handle stuff differently. But at the same time, I'm also looking at the influence, because we talk a lot about the YNs and why they act the way they act and they don't have any respect. Well, some of these YNs are looking up to people with that type of behavior. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're looking up to Kanye at all. On the same breath, the thing about Kanye, like, that's why when you was like, what are we going to do about, what is the community going to do? I was like, why do we got to do anything? Because I don't feel like the community claims Kanye anymore. I feel like they have disowned him after a lot of the statements that he made regarding people of our hue from slavery and everything else. So it's just like, I don't feel like the community is supporting him. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not so much, and this is the thing, not turning your back on him, but not supporting his antics or his music.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people are at. It's like, yo, I hope he gets the help he need. I hope one day he can, but I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm not listening.
I think
that's the most valid. I think that's the most valid answer to the question being posed, because a lot of times in our community we feel like it's got to be black or white. We got to say either you down or you completely disowned, and And then when something happens to that person, it's like, well, damn, I didn't know, or maybe I overthought. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that, but it's just like, man, in a lot of ways, we didn't even disown him. He disowned us by how he started operating. He like Paul was saying, he put himself up, so he separated himself.
True.
He didn't align with us. He doesn't relate to us.
True.
He doesn't have the same thoughts or correlate how we. So he's
true.
not rocking with us. So why are we rocking with him or concerned about him to that extent?
I agree with what you said, and I think and all I'm starting to figure out that like we had a different experience with Kanye than a lot of the youth are now. Like I forget how old we are in age to where we saw the very like some people in the East Coast and in the music industry saw much more of a beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But we really was fortunate to see the beginning of this man's career as far as mainstream, and I have been able to view it in a different kind of perspective.
Yeah.
So a lot of the youngsters now, they may like Kanye not even for the music. They not even, a lot of them might not even really be messing with him because of
It's
the
the
music.
fashion and the antics.
It's the
influence.
It's the cultural influence.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the cultural
They don't
influence
know
of
the
who he
Louis
is.
Vuitton done.
Yeah.
They don't know the Kanye with the polos and all the different, like, that's a different, the backpack Kanye that's why I'm saying, like, for me, as a fan, I was really into Kanye with College Dropout.
Me too.
And I didn't listen to anything after that because I got oversaturated with some of the, like, commercial songs. So I kind of like, and I was deep into underground music at that time, so I kind of was like, oh, I'm off of this. But, yeah, we saw, like, this was 2004. I believe when what's the single about him getting into the car accident and shit?
Through the Wire.
Through the Wire.
Yeah.
I think it was 03, 04 maybe.
It's about right.
I think it's 2025.
Yeah. Long time.
Something years.
But you know it's not to go off into a huge tangent, but to keep it real, bro, we actually see a lot of people differently than the world. Like, bro, and we'll get to that later, but even Donald Trump, we have a different version of Donald Trump we grew up seeing versus the one that people are seeing now.
Shit, for me, it was Wayne.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's all we can honestly say that, man, what you're seeing right now, it's really a totally different experience in a different opinion.
Definitely.
But moving along. Race relations, bro, in this country right now, dog.
Kanye don't care about black people.
This is from
bro. That was perfect
on MTV, not to be confused with MTV. MTV. Take from it what you know.
Timing was perfect because he doesn't. Yeah. But I thought this was an interesting story in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, with the predominantly black community. They 10 toes down with protecting their community from the neo-Nazis.
Not even just as you said, predominantly black community, according to what their history is. Ohio, which many people don't know, if you know history of slave trade and Underground Railroad and these different areas that were safe havens for blacks. Ohio, the Ohio River, if you were able to make it to Ohio was a safe haven for black folks.
Yes.
And if you look at the population of many different states and cities, I think, to me, Ohio probably has one of the most
highest
cities that have a predominantly or high percentage of black folks. So you talk about Cleveland, you talk about Cincinnati, you talk about even these smaller cities, Ohio,
Lincoln Heights
are actually very predominantly black areas of the country.
Well, I think it's interesting, man, because they doing what they got to do. Of course, the gun laws and things are different in Ohio than it would be in like a California, New York, or something like that. But they 10 toes down with protecting their community. The neo-Nazis. You decided to have a rally. So you already know you're provoking something, and racial slurs came with it.
I got you.
Go ahead, go for it, bro.
So Lincoln Heights, Ohio, February 7th. There was a neo-Nazi rally right before school got out. It was in the area of a school.
In the school zone, right?
Yeah, 100%. They came out there. They had their flags with the swastikas, and you know what I'm saying. They were yelling slurs and offensive language and things of that nature. I want to say weren't flyers passed out as well?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had, some flyers,
About
it
them
looked like.
getting out of here, and like you said, the city is a safe haven for Black people. Has been for a long time. That's why there's so many there, and the police were called out. Nothing was really done. They didn't take any names or get any information, and then turned around and said safety was the biggest issue. So that was our main concern. But I feel like if you really wanted to provide safety, you would get information so that, you know what I'm saying, further action could be taken, but they did nothing.
Right.
So Lincoln Heights developed the safety watch program.
Mm-hmm.
And safety and watch program. And every morning they outside, you feel me? Like
Tactical,
face mask,
tactical, the whole get down.
vests, you know what I'm saying? ARs, patrolling the city, making sure the kids get to school safely, people get to work safely. And it's just basically watching each other's backs. The community is very tight knit.
Yeah.
So everybody knows everybody, from the adults to the kids, and so everybody's comfortable with, with each other. And so it's really just a matter of safety. They're not looking to hurt anybody. It's about protection. And the fact that they even have to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you said earlier, it's 2025, and we are still seeing examples of extreme racism.
Mm-hmm.
Where people have to take it up on themselves to protect themselves because law enforcement isn't even doing anything.
Nope, they sure not. Yo, let me ask y'all something about this real quick. We grew up, OG millennials, we grew up watching all of the stuff in black and white. The dogs being sicked on, who could have been our grandparents and great uncles and stuff like that, water hoses, segregation, all of that. What do you guys think about, kind of, to a certain degree, living parallel in real time what we used to watch that we thought was the past?
I can't say that I could. It's equivalent.
That's why I said parallel.
Yeah, like it's a little perpendicular.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't.
It's a little perpendicular, though. But I get what you're saying. I think it's just the exposure to what is going on in more places than where you're at. So we, in these times, would feel as though there's more injustices than there were in the past or whatever, or like life is much more murderous or crazier than it was previously. But I feel like it's a lot of shit that we see people are getting caught for and exposed for, but it's a lot of shit that we didn't see. I was just thinking the other day, I was like, this is crazy. I was thinking about this. I was like, man, when I was a little kid, you could go in somewhere and steal some candy. You could do all kind of shit. No, listen what I'm saying.
You know who was thieving, but go on.
You could go and do shit.
Mm-hmm.
You could go do shit and your mama wouldn't know where you was at. And I think that I started thinking about this because people have locations on phones.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't social media or the internet wasn't as like
prevalent as what
prevalent
it is.
as it was. Everybody didn't have internet in their homes. At a millisecond, we could find out what happened in fucking Georgia the moment it happened. We're gonna see it live.
Right.
Like, we just are more exposed to things, and I don't think there's anything new under the sun. I think we're more safer than we were previously.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Who thinks there's more racism or violence now than back then?
People will say that.
They're dumb.
Or they'll make the comparison, just like
There's
the question.
no
asked, right?
comparison at all
That's what I'm saying.
whatsoever.
That's why he brought up the question, because a lot of people will feel like, oh, damn, we could never fathom.
That's what I'm saying. Like when you said that, I was
we
like,
couldn't even imagine, like, because
like,
we got the ability to be like Cedric the Entertainer said. This is my theory.
Like, is there still
It's
racism?
I wish a nigga would theory.
Is there still racism? Yep.
Yeah,
Is
for
there
sure.
still prejudice?
Yeah, for sure.
Does stuff still happen? 100%.
for sure.
All the time. It's just that now everything's under a scope. Because like you said, people have phones. There's cameras everywhere. People are more attentive to racism.
You're getting it in real time.
Because the
You're
thing
not
about
getting
it,
from the news.
not at all.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got to think about it. This newer generation ain't really for that. They are very inclusive. So a lot of the racism is our age, our generation, and older.
Mm-hmm.
It be some young shit still. But I think theirs is based on more of like the quote unquote like white humor.
I think the difference. I think the difference with the younger generation now is that they're the kids that the younger people and the young kids that do want to walk that path of being prejudiced and racist. Everybody else is on their helmet now.
Yes, consequences.
You know what I'm saying?
Pop up and shit.
It's not a shock value. It's a hey, what's your problem type of situation. But what I would say as far as in the parallel is it like the past in the 40s, 50s, and 60s? Hell no.
Because they ain't got dogs and hoses out.
But
German shepherds.
But for me, it hits different growing up in a house where it was mandatory that I watched certain historical things that has happened. Right? That's just how we were raised in the house. So like, it's interesting to me to see like the bold racism and then how it's masked in so many ways behind a political belief. Because I do believe that. I do believe that people mask their racism with the political movement.
It's covert.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then even yesterday, we were going somewhere, the family, and we were driving past the Tesla on Arden, packed full of protesters.
Oh, I heard about.
You know what I'm saying? Bree, she did a little video, posted on her story, and I was like, and it caught me off guard because they took up the whole sidewalk where the Tesla dealership was, and then they took up the sidewalk across the street in front of the Pet Boys and everything else. They had the signs.
You asked what's going on?
Yeah.
So according to what's going on is like Elon Musk has been much more
involved
in these political, but more racial political. Basically, the way in which even the Heil Hitler thing, some of his ideals, he's being more bold in his statements or opinions to where people are now not fucking with Tesla, but if they own a Tesla, people been switching them out, the emblems out with Honda and Civic and Mazda and changing it. Doing all kind of
He still got the money.
He still got that. It's like when they
Tesla.
bought all the R. Kelly CDs. And I was the only reason I'm bringing it up. All right, go ahead. You remember when they stomped on him? And,
yeah.
That's the only reason I was bringing it up.
Yeah, what I'm saying. Yeah,
I have been talking about RL too much.
We try to let you. You know what I mean?
I'm not even a fan like that. I did have the tape though.
Yeah,
I've got it on
tape.
Not the tape.
That's all good. It's you. But
bear share.
It's okay, man. We gonna. I'm not editing it out. But what I was saying, basically to piggyback on what he was saying, he also is making certain decisions, and he's had access to, basically everybody's information, Social Security and stuff like that, to see what's, I say with air quotes, going on or where the money is going. And it's like, bro, you're not a politician, and this is obviously somebody that's been appointed by 47 at this point, and he's just like, they got in office and they just got even more emboldened, you know what I mean, to speak on certain things and to speak racial. I mean, he sat down with Don Lemon and sounded like an idiot, with his intervy. So
that was crazy. He didn't sound as intelligent in that conversation as he
at all
does.
So, but the reason why I was saying parallels is because from what I can remember and from what I've studied, it's interesting to witness certain things in real time. Versus me and you, we went to junior high together. We had experience with a little racism here and there with kids that they probably learned from their parents.
Right.
Versus you can almost smell it on a person based off of their political views and how strong they feel about those political views. You know what I'm saying? It's almost the equivalent of like when you're watching the news and they refer to one of us as a thug and we interpret that as nigga. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so when I look at it, it's interesting because on right now everything is allegedly political, but now that 3 months in to this new administration, it's more racial than anything to me. To me personally, it's more racial, and then of course it's more about targeting certain groups. Like I've already expressed, the DEI and all that other stuff. We talked about certain things like that in the past, me and Jelani as well, and how we haven't benefited from it. But what I will say is because of certain things that are happening, I do believe that certain people that have had that in their heart feel more emboldened to get a little hyphy, during certain circumstances, whether you're at the grocery store, whether you're at the bank, you know what I'm saying, whether you in traffic, because they believe a certain ideology about what's going on right now.
Well, also believe that I'll fight. So if you if you want to, you know what I'm saying, if you want to go that route with me, you catch me in traffic like you mother nick, we're fighting.
Well, I fight, and I use the tool too.
I don't want to. I'm not gonna follow you. I be wanting to.
You gonna follow me,
people, but I will throw something out the window into your car.
You seem like the type. Water bottles, ashtrays,
screwdrivers.
What
I
tools?
remember this one time.
Smack somebody with an earth tone deodorant is crazy.
I said, "Damn, I need that screwdriver." Nah, but I mean that's a good kind of way to go into the next subject if we talk about Trump and some of his policy changes that are affecting certain demographics.
Yeah.
And you talk about federal funding of the Department of Education.
Yep.
I don't know the information behind it to make these claims, but it seems like it would have an effect on people who are not as, I guess you would say, people from certain social classes. Right?
So let's break it down real quick, because when people have this conversation about what's going on and how it affects us and things of that nature, there's a whole lot of information that's important and need to be left out. First of all, there's 3 branches of government. And so with him being executive, right? Okay, you're writing a bill. And so what happens, and this is kind of like the whole fearmonger thing. Oh, the president signed a bill, because the bill that he just signed was unconstitutional, obviously, right? But it doesn't mean it goes into effect, because there's voting and things that have to take place. So a lot of the bills that he's signing is getting blocked. And it's getting blocked on the judicial side, which is Supreme Court and things of that nature, right? And so to me, it's more of a conversation of the audacity than it actually going into effect. Now, who knows? It could go into effect because he appointed certain judges, and, the House and the Senate, like, they control. Everything is under control, right? Which can be scary, because some things can come into fruition, right? But what I do love about this is that, what is your excuse now to the people that's supporting this behavior, to the people that's supporting this administration, when things don't go to plan? Who do you blame? There's no more blaming the Democrats. There's no more blaming the people that didn't vote. You got everything you needed, everything you wanted, right?
I mean, because it affects a lot of the people that voted for him.
Exactly, including the people that are on the judicial side and everyone else. They're not going to be quick to be like, all right, you got that bill? Because they have family, they have friends, they have allies that these things can affect.
Student loans.
Yeah, including them. At the age they at, they still ain't done paying the interest. So, there's that, and then kind of tied into that, the facilitator for the January 6th thing.
Oh yeah, cuz got off the 22 years he was supposed to have.
Yeah, he got pardoned.
Yeah, he got pardoned, and then he was out there acting a fool.
Wait.
The
feel like we're moving fast.
Yeah, the dude from the
Enrique.
I'm still on Trump. I ain't.
Oh yeah.
I'm still on. No.
Which
I
part?
don't even want to talk about the. I don't want to talk about
Proud Boy?
Enrique yet. Nah. I don't even talk about, bro. Just because it's like so. This whole dismantling of the Department of Education, right?
Yeah.
They've already made 50%. They cut 50% already. And then low income, rural, and kids with disabilities are going to be affected by what's next to come, right? And it's like you said, it started with the DEI, right? But kids with disabilities falls under that, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That's learning disabilities and physical disabilities.
Yep. And it's crazy because initially they said federal funding for students with disabilities who fall under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, along with Title I funding for low-income schools and federal student loan payments, will not be changed by the order.
Oh, yeah, he changed that.
That's what it said initially.
Double back at that last little part, change that.
Because everybody was wondering, so I ain't got to pay student loans? No, you still got to pay that.
No.
Still got to pay that, pimp. We need that.
Yeah, so now it's switched up and it's affecting a lot of people. Like staffing is gone, and it's a question of like, what's next? Like, remember when you thought like it would be better to homeschool your kids?
Ooh,
now that might be the only option.
Yep.
Think about that. Because like what it would, huh?
But I think it just depends on where the funding is coming from. So like federal funding for education.
No, we need to.
Is a little different than what the statewide funding. For
we need
education.
to explore something real quick because you guys both said a lot, and there's some things that people need to understand that's tuning into this, right? When you said rural states, right? These are a lot of red states.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're not talking about the Floridas and the Californias and the New Yorks or even in Texas. We're talking about the red states
Idaho.
that voted for him. Right. Yeah. And then, when you said cutting the funding for that, you got to understand a lot of the funding that he's cutting, federal funding, some of these states of the federal funding that he's cutting also are funded. Their hospitals are funded 100% federally as well. Yep. You want to show the people, Jelani?
Damn. Show the people? Can y'all say that?
Yeah. So again.
Damn.
And you know what's getting interesting? They're pissed off. Now these people are getting really pissed off. You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember too.
There's a couple purples in there.
That's crazy.
He's like, let me zoom in.
I look like, hold up.
That mean they split. 50-50.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is getting crazy. I mean, fortunately, like a place like here, California, we are considered the 6th biggest economy in the world. So we can kind of, we're
6th biggest economy, 3rd area wise in the country, and 1st in
players
in the way. In, definitely, but we are the first as like the state that has the most economy.
Yeah.
So we're at the top of the list in damn near everything.
Yeah, and like we're killing it agriculture wise too. So it's like, so places like here will be okay. There might be a little bit of hiccups. We could use the federal funding for certain things, but we pretty much fund the rest of the globe.
Yeah,
right?
because we could talk about how
but like
expensive it is in California.
But like the rural places, it's more unfortunate because there is a lot of stuff that's going on. There they do lack a lot of resources already.
And they're dependent.
And
opportunities.
So the fact that you're already behind on independent and then they're slashing that, it's like, well, what the hell? And this is only 3 months. 3 months in. Right? And I think that was always the game plan. And it's interesting because, he definitely made it clear that he had nothing to do with Project 2025 and he's doing nothing but implementing everything from Project 2025.
Yeah, I know you was expecting that 10, so I'm going to give you 5. And, make it work,
Yeah. Yeah.
He hasn't been as, I don't know if it's maybe that I'm not as focused on him, but it doesn't seem like he's had as much, his voice isn't as loud.
Because he ain't saying nothing. It's been all action.
Bro, it's all pen work.
Yeah, because he's not doing a lot of like visual commentary.
Yeah.
He did that to get elected. He done now.
Yeah.
And he learned from last time. He was like, that was a lot.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna write a whole bunch of stuff down. And like I said, the beauty in it for me is the lot of people that voted this guy in, a lot of people, and there's people still standing behind what he's doing and don't even realize they're directly being affected. You know what I'm saying? And it's
but
like,
that's the stupid vote.
Yes. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The stupid vote voted for him and then don't even understand what's going on and how they're being affected because they're stupid.
Well, Chappelle tried to tell everybody in a special that was getting offended. He said he's not for y'all, he's for me. Case in point, I'm wealthy and rich.
Money. Yeah.
You know, because guess who's benefiting off of it? I had a back and forth with my mom, and
the top 5%.
Yeah, I had a back and forth with my mom about certain things, right? And she brought something to light that I didn't quite think about when it was talking about they were going in and looking at all the government spending, and we're going to slash this department and that department because all of this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, Mom, but at the same time, they're already getting, all these billionaires are getting tax breaks. So what's the point? Because they do. All the big billionaires get tax breaks because they're providing jobs, they get government contracts, all of that stuff. We all know this, right? But what my mom said that I really thought about, she was like, no, you got to pay attention to the tax rate. And I was like, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. And so that's a lot of things that are happening too. Like there's simultaneously, we're going to slash all this and then we're going to change the rate for all of us. But y'all not going to pay attention to the tax rate and how we taking care of ourselves and the homies because y'all going to be so focused on what we're taking from y'all.
And not even just that. They're not in that tax rate to even be focused on it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
That has, if it doesn't have anything to do with you in the first place, you're not going to pay attention to it. So
this is true.
So regardless of how it changes, whether it jumps up or drops down, like right now, me and you can sit up here and talk about stocks, right? And we can talk about certain stocks that we're familiar with and how they're going up and down. That only matters to me, you, and anybody else who invests in stocks. If our viewers don't pay attention to stocks, they don't care.
Yeah, we don't care about your REITs.
How do they even know? They
Turn the
don't
TV
even
off.
know that there's a different tax rate.
Yeah,
and a lot of
true
people
too.
is getting refunds.
Yeah, that's true.
So they thinking everybody get a refund.
Yeah, not knowing that a refund is only that because they took too much. But whatever.
I owe taxes. I'm in the tax bracket now to where I owe.
That's what's up, man. Start paying for shit on the podcast.
Ain't nothing in there. It's all gone. He came and got it.
But hey, the only reason why I wanted to bring it up, and we could move along. I thought it was interesting because I did not know that the January 6th leader was Enrique Tarrio. And
you didn't know there was a leader, or you didn't know who there was?
I didn't know that he was from Hispanic descent.
Oh, if you look at him, you could tell. He looked like he's Brazilian or some shit.
When I first even heard the whole Proud Boys concept, whatever, I'm automatically thinking
ex-police officer, right?
Yeah, I'm automatically thinking Caucasian person, because a lot of them have been the loudest about 47 and racial stuff and prejudice, right? And I thought it was just interesting because although bro got pardoned, it's like, bro, this administration is showing exactly how they feel about different ethnic groups, and you're at the forefront. And you got pardoned, and you still didn't learn your lesson. It's
like the slave. It's like the not the overseer, but it was like that slave that they gave power enough to hold over the other slaves. And
HNs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those was fake snitches, but like the person that was like riding around, and he basically could tell the other slaves what to do. He was riding on a horse.
Django?
Not Django.
That's Django.
Django wasn't nothing. But if you what's the movie?
You talking about Samuel L. Jackson's character? Wasn't his name Steven?
Not even him. I'm talking about on Life.
Oh, you talking about the dude that's man, what was the infamous line, bro, that we were saying?
He kept repeating whatever the white dude would say.
Yeah.
The overseer. Like those type of individuals where they have a level of authority.
Tell him about the gun line boss.
Tell him about the gun line boss. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But I just thought it was interesting because, like I said, we see what's going on now. We see mass deportations and all of this stuff. And I believe, like this guy was at the forefront, thinking he fighting for something, not knowing what he fighting for because people just want to pick a side and be on it.
Yeah, he's too dark complected.
The crazy thing about it is
crazy.
What a lot of people are missing is the fact that he had that altercation with the retired officer
afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards, and he had that
after being part.
So they stormed the building January 6th, right? Proud Boys and all that stuff. All of that stuff happens, and what happens in the midst of that? One of the officers who is trying to protect the place is dragged, beat up, tased, has a heart attack. He retires.
Yep.
Enrique, who was the leader of this whole situation,
and wasn't there,
didn't go. He did not storm the place. He was not. He coordinated everything and watched it from a safe place at home, and he was supposed to do 22 years. Trump pardoned him.
Mm-hmm.
He ran into this same police officer that they beat up and tased that had a heart attack and ended up retiring behind it. And they had a confrontation. What a lot of people are missing is the fact that he felt empowered because he was pardoned by the president that he is supporting. That was the whole reason he stormed the house in the first place. The building in the first place. So he felt empowered, and he also has
probably was on powder.
Probably, and he probably has a feeling that he's untouchable.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's why
hell yeah.
There was the altercation with the retired officer who is still a servant of the country. So it's just like, if you're a patriot, why are you operating the way that you're operating? Because that doesn't show any patriotism at all.
Bro, it's all treason.
You know what I'm
saying? From storming the Capitol to basically harming and violating a fellow officer because this guy was an officer himself at one point. It's like, what is, like, y'all don't even have, like, a code. Y'all don't have a code. Y'all don't have morals. Like, that I don't know. It's crazy.
Y'all crazy. Just got the nuts.
Y'all just out here.
Stuff. That's wild.
Y'all just out here. But
nothing but audacity.
That's one thing about me, bro. Like, I actually get a little bit of anxiety if I were to have a conversation with individuals that are sticking to their guns about their vote on this one. And the reason why is because it's the lack of accountability, but more so the in denial thought process of what's going on, right? Like, if anybody thinks that the past 3 months have been better than the past 6 months in total, are crazy. The egg prices go down.
The what prices?
Yeah, the egg prices go down.
Hell no, nigga.
The grocery prices go down.
Got my own chicken.
48. Nigga, you got chicken?
Yo, until you bust open a garden, don't worry about what I got going on. I ain't got no herbs. I ain't got no
I can't have
fruit.
chickens in an apartment.
Right?
They said you got pets, but nigga, you can't have chickens.
Man, you can grow oregano, parsley. You can grow. You feel me?
I got rosemary. Yeah. I got the thyme still.
Like, how long we been asking this dude for stuff out the garden?
Yeah, herbs, nigga.
Yeah.
I got herbs. I don't got.
It don't matter.
Tomatoes.
It don't matter.
So you doing everything indoor now?
Not indoor. I got a what they call that?
Terrace.
A patio.
Oh, you doing it on the patio? Like I said. Hey, he said it. Hey, he said it like when he did this, everything started growing.
Rise.
Yeah, I got a patio, my nigga, so I don't really get a lot of sunlight.
Right. I'm glad you using the patio. I felt like I was like, yo, bro, you got the patio. You can still, you know what I'm saying?
Enough room, but I still got the rosemary. Right. I got the thyme. I got a couple of plants.
I know you've seen those, the joints that's like go up and then you could put different.
The little white joints?
Yeah.
Okay, so my daughter in her classroom, they got one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my friends.
It's not like she won't help you.
I don't think she could go to school no more after that.
If y'all get caught,
stupid.
Well, yo, who plans to get caught during a burglary? That bro,
he ain't even started yet. He already gave up.
Nice school, man.
Yo, honest criminal head.
That means
they got that in the classroom. You don't think they got cameras?
That means they probably leave the doors unlocked.
You said they got cameras. Like you dress in things so people don't know who you is.
You're already dark.
Yeah, you don't wear that.
Or I could buy it.
He pull up with a flower hat.
I could buy one.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Poe.
Or you could get it for free. Yo, I think that's Notorious father.
Is that Harold?
There's not. There's black kids.
Just at the PTA last week.
Scoping the place out, huh?
Trying to have a YN mask. I think I got a YN mask on, like you don't recognize him. Somebody say, Harold, hey, how you doing? Oh.
Yo, got an organic hat on with a shiesty under.
Nah, yeah.
Wondering how he got caught.
You talking about like vertical gardens?
Yeah.
Shiesty's made out of a flannel. This dude.
Nah, man. Yeah. Vertical garden, man. Somebody was just telling me about that. I don't got a lot of space and shit. I still get my.
That's why you get a vertical. You know what?
No, but I don't got enough space.
You don't have enough space. What you got right now.
It's not a lot of vertical.
You got to get rid of the turtle.
But we're gonna keep the turtle for a little minute. What I'm what I'm doing is I'm helping one of my friends' moms build her garden, so that's where I get that satisfaction from. And I got my trees. She let me start my trees in her.
Oh, okay.
backyard.
So you got some. She's letting you use some of her property.
Yeah, I still
there.
got at least 4 or 5, like 5 of my fruit trees in her backyard,
That's
the
what's
large
up, bro.
ones, and then I'm just helping her build her garden. So I kind of get that a little bit of gardening excitement and shit. And you know what I'm saying, I'm sure she'll let me take a lettuce or 2.
Calm down.
I respect it.
Yeah, she let me put my tree in the garden. It's like, whoa. And your boy cool with that?
Nah, this a female friend. It's a female friend. It's a female friend.
Oh, yo.
It's a female friend, but yeah, her backyard has enough storage space.
I bet.
For
The metaphors is crazy, Poe. You still got it.
the house that she bought on the street in Sacramento and the zip code that I live in, she has enough storage space.
You don't want attention to come to y'all, huh? Yeah. I feel it. That's what's up, man.
Keep it on the down.
Nah. She's
Oh, now you don't want. Now you don't listen to him.
friend.
All right, whatever.
Family
All right.
friend.
It's all good, bro. Speaking of the ladies, before we check out, man.
Ladies. Y'all ain't shit. Hey, you know what? Go ahead. Bring it up.
When you say that just reminded me. Like, that's why another reason why the 90s, we was talking earlier, why the 90s was a great ass era.
Yeah.
It was like those type of sayings. Hey, ladies.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. I know they did that.
It was time. It's timeless.
But we always name another era where they shouted out every year. For the 9-4.
Yeah. We can't do it now because there's too many numbers.
Well, the thing about it.
For the 02.
It's, yeah.
And they don't,
You got
For the 2025. Shut up. Shut up.
That's somebody's address, man.
go ahead. What you was gonna say?
No. What I was gonna say is, I actually like this video clip that I sent you guys, where the sister was talking about like what she doesn't want her husband to go through, and I thought it was refreshing watching that. And I feel like all three of us are at a certain age and in a certain space where we've had experiences, but yet we have a deep appreciation for a certain type of women, to where it seems like slowly things are reverting back to women being more, I don't want to, more traditional and more considerate.
I don't even want to say consider. I won't say traditional. I say considerate and understanding.
Yeah.
I will say that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, I guess we should talk about what the videos like.
Yeah.
Y'all got to fill me in on that, pause, because I didn't even get to watch that one. That's the last one.
So basically the sister said, yo, I know you guys are probably going to come at me for this video, but I got to say it. And then she made a list of things that she did not want her man to feel like he needed to do. Like he had to work all the time so she's the only comfortable one. He doesn't have a life, while she has a life and get to do whatever she wants. And basically from a, but go ahead, brother.
Just work and pay bills. I don't want him to not have a hobby. I don't want him to not have healthy mental health. I don't want him to not have savings.
Preach.
I don't want him to work and slave all day, every day to take care of my bills, our bills, and me just sit there and not contribute anything. This is coming from a young lady who has never been married. I don't have any kids.
No daddy.
I have a dog. I'm fully educated, pay my own bills right now, and it is difficult. I have a great career, and it is difficult.
So
no,
that's the premise. That's the premise.
I like the sound of that. I like the way that sounds. I like where she's at in that. And I don't really have no disagreement with what she said.
But see, the thing about it is, like, of course we don't, but the issue is, normally on social media, what you're hearing is, I'm not going 50-50, and
sure.
I didn't hear to do this, and then you hear these stories about women who want their bills to be paid, they want to be taken care of, and they want you to do all these
Cash
things
apps in the
before
bio.
even getting a ring type stuff.
Or,
you know what I'm saying?
Or the men who say, I don't want my woman to work. I want to be, like, for me,
You're not a real man if you don't do this.
I'm going to be 100%.
I want the woman that I with to want to work. The reason I would say that is more than just me paying the bulk of the financial burden. I want you to have a hobby somewhere to get the hell away from me. I want you to have your own. I don't want you coming to ask, can I get $20? Go get your own and you can have it. Mm-hmm. That's where my thought process is, because at a young age, I felt like I'm learning now. I'm kind of okay with some of those traditional things of being the provider.
Yeah.
But I didn't like feeling like some sense of control when I was younger. Like, I didn't like that, to be like, you got to come to me and ask me for some money when you could go make your own money and have it. And I ain't, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like
Sounds like you've studied the 7 cures for a lean purse.
I'm more now where I'm like, I kind of am.
But he
okay
hasn't,
with it a
because he
little
didn't
bit.
pick up on that.
he didn't.
So
I didn't.
I feel like
Richest man in Sacramento, read it.
that is not the title of
It
the
is
book.
not. He
We'll
gonna be
give you the
looking.
real
I
one.
was gonna look.
We'll give you the real
Yeah.
title.
I was like, what the
after.
fuck this?
We're not
I don't
giving
say
out
second. Wait, I ain't finding it.
like that anymore.
Why did Doug Christie pull up? We'll give you the title for real. Though.
Bruh.
Go ahead, brother man.
I lost my train of thought.
You paying all the bills.
I just feel like there's a lack of understanding.
Oh yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, it's been like dumbed down in a sense, I guess you could say. And what I mean by that, when it says like a man is supposed to provide, like that doesn't just mean financial, right? Mm-hmm. You're supposed to provide a safe space. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to provide protection.
Yep.
Right? Emotional support, mental support,
Guidance,
spiritual support, guidance, right? Leadership. There's so many things that a man is supposed to provide. And the thing about it is, even if he can't provide financially, which all men want to, even if they're not able to,
that's a fact.
For sure.
it's understanding that and still standing tall in all other areas. See, a lot of women place so much focus on the financial aspect that they end up finding somebody who can provide financially but is absent in all other areas. And then they get upset, right? And then that's where the issues happen, or they're disappointed, or the divorce comes into play. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's just like
50% of them is over finances.
Well, that's the thing about it. They don't really have expectations because they think that everything else comes with the money.
Exactly. It's kind of like a toy commercial. You see all the action and stuff, and then at the end it says batteries not included.
And so when you have a different understanding, you move differently.
Yeah.
Like in my experiences, majority of the women, not females, not young-minded girls, women that I have dealt with and encountered, it's always been a team effort.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Because on one end, we are more than likely going to be disproportionate. I'm either going to make more or you're going to make more, right? Okay, so whoever is, then that means that you might have to carry some more weight right now.
Right.
That doesn't remove you from your other duties or me from mine.
So what you saying, like 50-50 ain't exactly 50-50?
It's first of all,
an idea.
So first of all,
hell yeah,
right?
It's an idea.
First of all, it should be 100. And what I mean by that is, you should come 100. I should come 100.
Absolutely.
You should be getting 50% of me. You should be getting 100% of me.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And if you're getting 100% of me, we're not worried about 50-50 from a financial aspect. We're worried about shit being taken care of and us being good. So if I take care of this and you take care of that, or I take care of this because you can't right now, that's fine. I'll carry you.
For sure.
One day you might have to carry me. There'll come a day when you can stand on your own, and we'll walk side by side and knock all this shit out.
Right.
But when you're rocking with somebody, being focused on the financial aspect to that extent diminishes everything else.
Do you think women have the conversation in the way that men have the conversation?
No.
Hell no. Because if they do have the conversation, they're having it amongst like-minded women.
Yeah, because I don't see too
Like,
many
there's, like
older women
Yeah.
giving game to the younger women. Like we see people like Kevin Samuels. We see other individuals who may give their perspective on relationships. It may be like someone of the same age group as a woman, but more times than not, in the algorithm, or what I see is a lot more men talking or giving game to the younger.
Well, hold on. Jelani
about
says
how to
something.
move.
Jelani says something about understanding, right? And I think there's a disconnect which causes a misunderstanding, because I've seen a lot of young women say, "Oh, we're not like our grandmothers, and we're just gonna shut up, and you just have multiple families and stuff like that." That wasn't everybody's grandparents.
They thought they was docile, so
Yeah.
they didn't realize that your grandmother, like, see, and my pops, like, right, with my stepmom. My pops, he might have been an authority in certain ways or the leader in certain ways. But more time, everybody in the family know my stepmama ran that.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't like docile and where she was like, oh, she couldn't speak her voice. No, we all know when it come down to it, she's running the household. He's there as the man, but she ran that. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of women now think that their grandmothers, aunts, mothers were being like they didn't have a voice. It was like, no, they was playing a position.
You wanna know? You wanna know
well.
what they don't comprehend?
What's that?
Oh my gosh!
Talk to them.
Femininity.
Yes.
Okay.
Our moms, our grandmoms, our great grandmas, all operated in their femininity.
Yes, they did.
That will move a man faster,
Than anything else.
better,
For sure.
easier than anything else. Understanding that I'm not here to yell, cuss, stress, or challenge his manhood. I am here to be a helpmeet, a partner, and make sure he stays on track.
Yep.
The best way to do that is to talk to the king in him and not the fool in him. So in order to
you
do
cooking.
that, we're going to speak in our femininity, because that will actually reach the king. If I get loud, I cuss, and I talk like I don't have any sense, I'm tapping into the fool, and I'll get a full response.
Yep. Yep.
So
You got your apron?
operating in your femininity will get you the response you want from your man.
Got it. Yeah, get him his
And you don't have to get loud. You don't have to get out of place. You don't have to be disrespectful. Matter of fact, you really finesse the situation operating like that. And you can get more out of him in your femininity than you would any other way.
Hey, brother, you know what's crazy? Because when me and Poe were talking about the 90s right before we started, there was something that I remember about TV in the 90s, movies in the 90s, the way a woman, like, when you wanted to take over, like, something, or you wanted to infiltrate something, you sent a woman that was feminine, that was calm, that was charming and everything else to infiltrate.
She didn't try to match his masculine energy.
So like if you like you send her in there, right? And she dazzles you with the femininity and stuff like that. So what does that do? You let your guard down. Oh, man. Yeah, come right in. I don't know why your name's not on the list, right? And that's and the reason why that was is because, like you said, you're speaking to a different part of that man, and we've seen examples of that. There's no examples of that,
Like,
or not enough at
I
least.
think this could be the way what y'all just said. Like, I think if a lot of women saw it this way, like a lot of women in our experience are attempt to match the masculine energy, right? Now, if a man was trying to match the feminine energy, what would they say to him?
Oh, they say it all the time. If they ever felt like their
you
energy is
soft.
matched,
You
you soft, you this, you that, you the G word, whatever the case
cry
is.
too much,
Remember
right?
your boy, and I don't know if were you familiar with the Tonight's Conversation show before it got all crazy? The panel.
Oh, you talking about the ones with the cuz with the beard?
Yeah.
No, yeah. They got a whole lot of shit going on right now.
So,
Yeah.
bruh with the beard, what's
He
his
was
name? I
cooking
want to
He
get his
was-
name. I want to
he
get
was
his name right.
It's two dudes with a beard.
The main
Light-skinned dude.
Yeah, the
But
light
it's a
skinned
whole
dude.
nother podcast
I want to
about
get
a
his
brown-
name
a
right.
I think it's Trip.
Trip
Fontaine.
He said
Fontaine.
something in the clip that I'll never forget when he was talking to women. And he was saying that a lot of women, and he was really, like, I could tell he was really passionate about it. And I'll never forget when he told this woman, he said, y'all want to match all of the bad stuff about us. The stuff that we got to be a boss and to run things and to have authority, we have to pull out the worst parts of us sometimes to be successful.
So he was talking about, this woman came up and she was talking about how accomplished she is and her degrees and her career and all of this stuff. And he was saying that, okay, you lead with that, but you guys are disgusted when a man leads with his accomplishments and his career and his money.
Exactly.
So you shouldn't be doing that. And in the midst of all of that, you didn't speak on character. You didn't speak on personality. You didn't say, I got my master's and I also went to therapy to deal with my childhood trauma.
Exactly.
Right? So you want to sit up here and talk about all your accomplishments and being a boss, not understanding that what it takes for a man to accomplish those things. So then you accomplish those things, not understanding that you are adopting all of the worst parts of our masculinity that we have to obtain that. So being emotionless, being cold, being calculated, all of those type of things are needed to move up the ladder arrogant. And to be a boss, to get to those places, because you have to be that. So you get there and that's what you are now, not understanding that that's not attractive. That doesn't bring about a man. And you aren't even emotionally you're not even in the right emotional state to have a man.
Because I think a lot,
because you are one at this point.
What I think they get confused with is that they're taking the things that their moms, mothers, and aunties had to endure as single parents, right? And then you have this whole era of independent women, and then what they feel as though they're not understanding that we as men, and not saying that all of them, this is just a certain facet of women who feel as though they don't understand that we are not choosing you based on your accomplishments.
We don't care.
We don't care whether you're above, below, on the same level as us in accomplishments as far as finances, as far as education, those things. Those are added layers. Those can be.
This is the issue.
Great attributes.
This is the issue, right? Just how women are emotional, men are logical, right? So we're focused on different things.
Right.
Same thing when it comes to looking for a partner. Women are like, he got the financial, he got this, that. And we are looking for a woman who is actually a woman who can nurture, care for, love, who is soft, who's nurturing,
we get along
who is 100%. But that's initially, because if we don't get along with them, we're not going to find out they're all those things. We're not sticking around. No, seriously. And so we're looking for a woman to complement and complete us. You are looking for men to take care of you, and not all, but that's majority of what you see nowadays. Is if he doesn't have this and 6 figures and 6'5" and da. And why do they want all of this? Because they don't want to work and they want to be stay-at-home moms. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
they want the final word too.
Oh, 100%. Damn, stupid. So we're searching for different things, which also again makes us incompatible. Because in a lot of cases, the man that you're looking for, you might have already crossed paths with him, but because he's not where you want him to be now, you overlook him, not understanding that he's on that path, and with the right woman, not only is he gonna get there, but he's gonna go further.
I heard a perfect. I forgot who just said this. You just said something, and it's not always true, but there's a lot of examples of black women, but this is a great way to kind of give that kind of analogy, is that white women sometimes will find a young black man that she's in support of during his earlier years before success.
Oh, that was Dr. Umar.
It was Umar. Got it. Yeah. So there's plenty of examples of black women who are doing that. We're not about to act like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure.
No, 100%.
That's just kind of the analogy of like a lot of women are not there to help build and motivate.
Nah, they want the finished product.
They want the finished product.
And if the product isn't finished, they want no parts. Whereas other ethnicities will see us on our journey and be like, I see the potential. I'm rocking with him. We're going to get there. And so that's kind of the difference. Now, all in the same breath, all the sisters ain't like that.
No, for sure not.
You did make it a point to say not all, but I reiterate that. Like, they're not all like that. It's just, so what it is the loudest voices.
Yeah, for sure.
The loudest voices are the women who aren't willing to go 50-50, who aren't willing to build a man up and work with him to get to that point.
And I think 50-50 now that we're saying that I finally figured out what that whole thing is. To me, the 50-50 is the 50-50 in the relationship. You might got 13% of this, and she got 12% of that. And you got 11% of this. She got 9% of that. And you got this. And she might got 75% and you got 25%, and that's your capacity.
But on the same breath,
You know what I'm
though,
saying?
if it's 100, right? It should equal 100
because of effort.
And I agree with
100%.
of
So
effort.
you know what I mean?
that. I agree with that.
No, I'll say this.
Because now we ain't living in times
because I want to
where
speak because I want to speak on something you said about like how white women could be with brothers and how
I just
sisters
said
could be
other
with brothers.
ethnicities.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I said
you
white.
no, but I'm gonna say, but I like this because that is an often conversation about Black successful men going out of the community, and at that point they see everything as white, no matter who he's with, if she ain't Black. you feel me?
For sure.
But one thing I will say is that what I think a lot of people need to understand in our community is that the advice that we're giving our children. Now, we talked last week about, the way Anthony Mackie raises his boys and stuff like that. This all starts from the grassroots area in your homes and in your communities and stuff like that, right? A lot of white women are taught that are in suburban areas or middle class areas. They're kind of taught at what point in life to start looking for that mate, and that's something that Kevin Samuels talked about, where he said that a lot of these women find their person in college, versus in our community the focus is college because we got to go back and take care of mama and them, or we got to live, in this type of career for the certain type of, the boss chick thing that we already discussed earlier. And then what ends up happening is when they do feel like at a point, all right, I want to settle down, this, that, and the other. You're
passed up all the
you done passed up all the opportunities, and you kind of don't know what to do because you ain't really been
Desirable?
That could be something too. But you don't know what to do because you haven't had that experience of how to even engage or interact with the opposite sex.
Could you say that the earnest on who's more responsible or not responsible, who should be more willing to maybe make changes in the way they approach these things, would the earnest be on Black women? And the reason I'm asking that is because a privilege that we do have as Black men is that we are desired by others, by other groups. And so it opens up the...
Slim Thug.
This guy.
I didn't say what Slim Thug said, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, Slim Thug was talking about, you got to bust it open because we have opportunities. But
No, I'm saying like...
we're fetishized. We're fetishized.
We just have the luxury of being
Black
more
women are too.
desired, and whether it's a negative or positive, however you view it.
No,
Black women are too, but I guarantee
You're looking at it wrong.
If you grow up around these other groups of people, they talk down on Black women.
You're
they
looking
think
at
it's
it
some
wrong.
bad thing.
You're looking at it wrong. Value.
Okay. I see
We're
where you're
more
going with
valued?
this.
No.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going.
As we age, Black men values rises, Black women's value drops.
But you got to add that other layer of desirability too.
We're both desirable, right? And it depends on how you're looking at it, because look at this. Think about it like this. With the Black men, right? Why are we fetishized? Right?
Yeah.
Why are we look at the Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why every other ethnicity is doing what? Getting BBLs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you want to talk about the physicality of it, whether we're talking about the Black man or the Black woman.
Yeah, but they what they do is like, it's a difference like this.
How is it a difference?
They could want a Black woman. How and please don't take this wrong. How I'm saying
it's
this.
it's only an experience.
No, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Sisters, please don't take this the wrong way. This is
fuck
what I
up.
mean. The other groups may desire Black women in the same way a trick desire a hoe.
So you think? I mean,
The other groups seem like they desire black men on procreation and long term.
not
And
always
I'm not
long
saying that's,
term.
but they want to make babies with us.
like,
They don't necessarily not are out there trying to make babies with black women. That's unfortunate.
True, but on the
you know what I'm
same
saying?
breath, what I'm saying,
They want to
though,
have sex with them.
it's. I mean, us too. If we're gonna break it down to, if you're,
but we'll marry and go on a relationship.
I'm
and we'll put it in
gonna
the
keep it
forefront.
real. Y'all got some good points.
it's just like
Y'all got some really good points
you gotta
because
simplify it.
well, here's I'm gonna simplify Poe's point. A lot of times that happens with black women because black women are sexualized so much in the entertainment business, music, and things like that. So that's why a lot of things can be attracted to black women by other ethnicities based off of them being sexualized versus the true value we know they have.
Yeah, and that's not to say that they don't have value, but this is how the other groups treat and view them. But in reality, like us, they're more willing, or we're more willing to have relationships, long-term relationships with these women. Like, we sexualize other women, we sexualize women, Asian women, white women, we do that. But you tend to see more of other groups with black men now on TV. What I see a lot is white men and black women relationships more on TV.
Yes,
than I see
more
black
than
men
yeah.
with white women.
Yes, it's
I
a
see
whole lot more. It's a lot. It's a whole lot of it more now.
You know what I just thought about? There's a negative stigma to the black woman, which is why I don't think relationships and longevity is pursued.
Oh, she's standing on business.
It's not. It's not even. I mean, that's how
She's
we
standing on
would look
business.
at it.
That's how we see
But
it. Yeah,
it's put off as an attitude.
Right.
black women
They
Have
don't know how to,
attitude.
they
in
don't
our
know how to
in
deal with that.
society, black women have been considered combative, and black men can be considered dangerous.
For sure.
Angry black man.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so, and that's the thing about it. It's just like they're like, oh yeah, well, yeah, black women have great body, but their attitudes and right because even when you see a different ethnicity on a movie or a TV show or whatever or skit or whatever, where they imitate a black, they got to do the whole little
Yeah.
neck and
right,
head.
Yeah, everything's
right.
flamboyant and loud.
And what's
yeah.
so crazy is I don't really know too many sisters who operate like that.
That was a kind of a stereotypical thing in the 90s.
But I'm saying, but it
But
still
real life?
happens.
In
though.
real life,
Yeah.
it don't happen like
Nah,
that.
it don't.
You probably got one or two relatives out of the whole family reunion that act like that.
It don't.
You know what I'm saying? It's not as prevalent as entertainment has made it.
Black women very much nowadays voice their opinions.
Yeah.
And they
They've
have
been
the
doing that,
ability
yeah.
to do it. But that's what a theory that I had is
Yeah.
like the reason they're more vocal is because they didn't have a voice
Yeah.
at all a lot. They couldn't express themselves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, ain't finna tell them they can't say nothing.
For sure. But I do think that when we talk about because we see plenty of panels or plenty of conversations where they talk about like why the sisters are having a hard time. But in my personal belief, and y'all can share yours, my personal belief is the things that they've been taught and what they've been lied to about with people that were an influence on them. Whether it's moms, whether it might be a toxic grandma that didn't have a good experience with their grandfather or something like that. And so what ends up happening is these women go into these situations with their guard up, with sometimes and a lot of times the wrong person. Because I do believe that in a lot of women won't admit it, but I do believe a lot of women passed up on the right guy, either because of how they put their guard up or either because of them feeling like he lacked certain things that he had the potential to obtain later.
He might have been like a square in his.
And I believe that if a lot of
outward
women would
appearance.
acknowledge that, then that would be the first step of them changing their mentality, especially the women
Lack of
in our community.
communication.
Oh hell yeah!
But what about now? There was
Because
a
I
time when
have
you
a
used to be able.
specific situation.
We used to see, like, a lot of us will hate on it and say, we've all seen this where it'll be a bad or fine ass female and be like, why is she with him? But they might have been the woman that was like, nah, they know what they like and what they should be going after. And sometimes you'd be like, damn, he kind of like a corny, like square dude. And it's like,
Well, see,
now at your older age, you like, oh yeah.
nah, bro, because see, we have the privilege of age right now. So let's look back on those. Because we probably have all thought that.
Yeah, for
now
sure.
let's look back on those scenarios and two people together to this day.
I don't know. Didn't know him. Saw him in traffic.
Yeah, I saw. No, that's what the thing is. You just might see this person in traffic. It's not knowing that I would say that I know where that's the situation, but you would see things, especially out here in Sac, like somebody from the Bay Area. You'll come out here to Sac and you'll be like, she was square ass the white. She with him.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that.
I be seeing couples together. And I'm like, they deserve each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see.
And I've seen some boogaloos.
Ooh, you seen the boogaloo's with the ones. Now you ever seen a couple and you be like, damn.
Focus.
I wonder if he was like,
Focus.
you know what? I'm ugly. She ugly. I ain't gonna get no better.
I mean,
That happens.
lowered expectations.
So I will say this, bro, from experience with people that we are affiliated with, right?
Uh-huh.
I know, and I think this is a part of like how a lot of mentality has to be changed in our community, because this conversation boils down to like the black family not being what it was 40 years ago, 50 years ago, right? And even the representation of the black family, like what we used to see in entertainment growing up, right? But what some of the things that I see as far as mindset is, for starters, I'll just throw something out there. I don't know about you, Poe, but you watch anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've gotten into anime. A black dude, right, that's really, really into anime, don't really care about, you know what I'm saying, trends, you know what I'm saying? He don't care about waves. He hasn't seen a do-rag in ages.
Oh my
right?
God.
But he's respectful, right? He'll go to work, you know what I'm saying? Loves wearing graphic tees and stuff like that.
With the bacon neck?
Yeah, with the bacon neck, right?
Yeah.
Most of the sisters ain't going for that just based off image. Yeah. Not even getting the character. And we've even seen examples.
Image or hygiene?
Nah, that's a totally different, because I can't defend hygiene, brother. And I know what you mean, because there's some of them out there that, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it something that small can disqualify a decent dude. You know what I'm saying?
Like pop the balloon shit. Like
That's
those type of comments.
Those type of scenarios. And the reason why that's a good thing to bring up is because it's majority of our sisters that's saying that.
It's so
I don't like you ain't have
superficial,
socks on.
bro.
Yeah.
It's
You didn't have no socks on.
so shallow.
Yes.
Like this dude came on there. He was in good shape. His dreads were done. I was like,
The
damn.
dark skinned dude.
Like who had he had on some trousers, but he had some nice slip on shoes, and it's like, his ankles were showing like the.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. And it was like they were like, I don't like the cut of his pants, the way he's dressed, and it's just like
They weren't even using the proper terminology because it should have been tailored.
you can change an outfit.
Yes.
But when you come across somebody who has all of the intangibles, you're gonna trip off of the length of the pins.
Because dudes, for me, we might be more willing to forgive certain things if we look at her like, damn, she
because
bad,
we're
but
actually
she just might wear Team Jordans. We could get rid of them. We could get rid of the Team Jordans, but she is fine. She holds a good conversation. We get along.
Hygiene.
We're realistic, bro.
Well, here's what I'll say. Here's what I will say. The simple attraction based off of how whack we think her fit is or not, we still up over there.
Yeah,
the conversation we have is going to help us understand if we should even continue to pursue the situation. Versus a sister could see a dude, right, and it's like, I can't do it. And the reason why the balloon pop show is a good example is because that's true.
They pop the balloons
that's very
as
true.
soon as they see you.
Are they doing that for the show? Because I think that
No, I really do believe a lot of sisters operate like that because I've seen it.
I believe that, but this is the reason I'm gonna ask. 2 reasons. So I've been really watching a lot of the Pop the Balloon 20 verse ones. And so it's not just one group of people who do the 21 verse 1 or Pop the Balloon, but when it started, it was the youngsters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the youngsters, they was just trying to roast each other.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of women get on there in that way, because there's a channel on YouTube where they do the 20 verse 1 or the Pop the Balloon, whichever one it is.
80 and up. Yeah, I know.
Not
they real humble.
Not the seniors. I seen the senior ones. They was on point. They was doing the crazy shit too. But this channel,
tennis balls on your walker all dirty.
You all got the electric thing? Nah, I can't really do. No, but they this channel, everyone seemed like mature. Like the women, their responses to the dude or whatever their critique was like, it wasn't like they.
But would you say that's the majority of society or the minority of society?
I think it depends on the maturity and age group. Like some of the
minority. He don't want to answer. It's a minority.
Yeah. I think this was, that's what you had to say,
You
dog.
ain't even got the digital reader on your oxygen tank? Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
What kind of insurance you got? You got Medicare? Nah.
That's what I was getting at. I feel like I believe the majority of a lot of what people's expectations are. I even see it online. And listen, some of y'all gonna be mad at me, but I look at some of y'all stories, ladies, that we follow each other, we cool with each other, we know each other from back in the day, and I see like how happy y'all are when y'all get wine and dined, and then I don't see no wine and dine for a few weeks, and then I start seeing them posts that say, gotta do it by myself and can't trust nobody, and 00 agents over here is doing this. And I be wanting to, but I don't. I be wanting to ask, so like, what happened? I be wanting to ask, so what happened? What attracted? Because a lot of women are attracted to status, materialism, and the character and things don't matter until the options change. Once you go from what a lot of women, and this is for women across the board, but I'm talking to my sisters because that's what I care about right now. When them options get thin, all of a sudden the necessities are highlighted more. And it's like, why even wait to that point? Why not unprogram whatever you're already looking at? Because it's not working right now.
Because it's not like
reprogram.
It's not like you haven't had enough experience to kind of like weed through the bullshit a lot.
Exactly.
But you still kind of tend to go towards the bullshit.
Humble thyself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said with the James Earl Jones. Humble thyself.
He said it like, and even worse, you put Nella in this. He said it in that voice. You deliberately disobeyed.
But you know what, bro? It's true. We got to call it for what it is. Like you do. You should humble yourself. Like straight up. I mean, for men, for the record, we've been getting humbled since day one. A lot of us have had a girl that we thought was cute and we thought it was gonna go one way, and it and it went another way.
Hey, let me tell you a quick story about that, real quick story. So in high school, it was this girl.
Yeah, that sounded like a revenge hit.
Yeah, that did. That sounded like one of the ones I'm gonna hit.
Remember 7th grade?
Nah, in high school, it was a girl that I liked. I thought she liked me. I'm telling my partner, I'm gonna go ask her like, what's up? So the word spread through the school now. Mm-hmm. Oh, Harold finna go. Think by the time it got to the class that I had with her at the end of the school, I'm like, what y'all talking about, man? I wanted to go. Like, I killed that whole thing.
Got some music for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, like it was y'all giving me too much pressure. Now she feels she under pressure. Mm-hmm. Now if I get the response, I'll like, now I'm a.
Everybody gonna know.
Yeah. But then I doubled back with the new girl at the school who everybody wanted. Mm-hmm. I wasn't tripping. She was fucking with the kid. So
Cap.
Nah, it's real. It's facts. It's documented.
There's something about when somebody's passionate about what they're saying, man. And then at the end of that, somebody's like,
documented, man.
Cap.
Shit fake, man. That nigga lying, man.
Yeah. Cap.
I don't believe any of that.
Nah, yeah. So yeah, yeah, man, should have happened like that.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
more.
I would say word of the episode, man. Be humble, please be humble, and please stop being superficial because it doesn't really work out.
Before we head out, what year did you graduate? You already had.
Oh, 2.
You going to your 20th?
If they do something.
The GW is supposed to have the 20th with the class of 06.
They're joining it?
05 and 06.
That's how you know times is bad. Money is thin.
05 and 06.
I'm about to say
last time
couldn't do mine.
That remind me of like when you and all that reminds me of like when like myself and like 2 of my cousins had to share a birthday. You know what I'm saying?
My kids, nigga.
Yeah, you got to share a birthday. But bro, they're literally days apart. I'm talking about your birthday in August and your cousin's birthday in July. We're gonna do it all together. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's crazy.
17 names on the cake.
That's 2 different seasons. One nigga in summer school, somebody else just started school. Now we gotta have our birthdays.
We just gonna do cupcakes with an initial.
I'm sabotaging that shit, dude.
Anyways, man, we finna get up out of here. You've been tuned in to the Notion Podcast. I am your host, Dizzy D Spill, with my co-host in the building,
Jelani Evans.
Farmer Poe.
and you already know what to do. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. I'm pretty sure y'all got smoke for some of our comments, and we here to address it. And you can follow us on all platforms. We still working on the Patreon. Be patient. And like Jelani said, be humble. Until next time,
I mean,
peace.
your man said that too.